Hello everybody and welcome again to the Varsity Chatroom. I am Esther Kamati, your host for today, and today we won't be having much of a discussion, which explains why I'm alone in studio, but of course do not fear because we still have updates for you with relevance to the tertiary institutions. Now today we'll be bringing you a Focus Institution edition, and today we're focusing on the University of Namibia. The University of Namibia is the biggest university or institution of higher learning in the country, which houses over 30,000 students and of course has 12 campuses across the country. Now today we're focusing on one of those campuses, and that is the Neudamm campus. Now specifically we're looking at the School of Veterinary Science, which also graduated its first cohort of students this year right at the Neudamm virtual graduation. So my colleague Marisol Stoffberg visited the campus just to see how things went down that side, and here's a quick clip showing you or giving you an insight into the School of Veterinary Science at the Neudamm campus.
So this is Cody, this is Annabelle, and this is Arabella. They were all born twins out in the veldt, and their mothers just out in the veldt did not have enough milk to feed two orphans. So the stronger one stayed out in the veldt with the mother, and the weaker of the pair were brought here to be bottle fed here, and that's what Livy and I have been doing, as I said, along with our colleagues as well. We all pitch in together and help with them. So Cody here is a sickly child. He's not been very well, but he's actually really started to do better. But as you can see, he's much smaller than the others. He's got quite significant weight loss, but the doctors and the clinicians have all been working together, and he's really turned the corner now, and he's getting there. He's getting there, but we won't tell the others. Special boy. My special baby boy, no?
I'm going to replace the bandage and clean you up nicely today. But at least now we are able to stand. Ah, look. Yes. Little baby.
Difficult to teach on because there are not so many, so we can't provide each student with the most that you can put it through. So that's a bit difficult. So we're very proud of our samples, and this one also used for blood collection and putting in an IV catheter, so that the students can really practice here until they are comfortable. It's a safe environment, they can make mistakes, it's okay. And once they're comfortable, they can then
That's okay. Let's just, yeah, we can just have a few.
Wow, this was such beautiful sights to see with the baby goats and the birdies. So this just comes to show that at the Neudamm campus, students are actively busy and actually working towards becoming veterinary doctors. So kudos to them. But of course, earlier last week, there was a visit to the Neudamm campus by the Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Itakanji Murangi. And it was basically an inspection to see how ready the campus is to welcome back its students, of course, after the whole COVID-19 pandemic and everybody being sent to work from home and attend online lectures. Now, from these observations, we can see that the university is ready to welcome back its students, but of course, due to the rise of COVID-19 cases, it may not be possible right now to welcome the students back on campus. This was also confirmed by the institution's Vice Chancellor, Dr. Kenneth, and my colleague Elizabeth was there to film all the action, and here's a quick video just showing you what went down. So do enjoy.
With this device, we can reduce the radiation in a way that you can still see the contours of the soft tissue. So we can see how an orthodontist has to manipulate teeth in a way that the outline of the face will be more harmonic. Because sometimes you see the binding over each other, so this is what we can see.
As you know, Hagegengop campus is one of 12 campuses that the University of Namibia has in the country. It's a very great pleasure for us to be able to host you here. As you have seen from the infrastructure and hubs that the facilities that you toured, Honorable Minister, the university is certainly set to ensure that all its campuses function as international centers of excellence.
In our case, His Excellency President Dr. Hage Geingoob's quick resolve to act decisively with only a few cases of COVID in our country, his decision to institute the Emergency Income Grant Scheme to support the hard-hit companies and save those whose livelihoods are severely or were severely affected. And indeed, the early closure of educational institutions and the move or the encouragement for our higher education institutions to move or migrate to e-learning were all decisive efforts that our president took in order to save Namibian lives. Our higher education institutions were and still are at different levels when it comes to the implementation or application of the e-learning education. You are already doing this. And all I can say is that we salute your efforts for investing in the education of the Namibian youth and indeed the future of our country. The space you operate in is one that should be driven by always putting the Namibian youth educational interest first. It is therefore imperative that where possible, and this one I've said already, you share your expertise with others in the space of higher education where there might be skills gaps in the broader field of e-learning facilitation. This is important because going forward, as government, we want to see a solid integrated teaching system at our universities where face-to-face teaching and e-learning become truly blended modes of teaching. initiative. Also, the government decided to invest directly in relevant e-learning equipment and connectivity gadgets for needy higher education students. And here we are talking about the needy higher education students, not only at our two public higher education institutions, Neudamm and NUST, but wherever we have Namibian students within the sector of higher education, whether they are at private institutions, they will benefit from this important initiative.
So there you have it. That was an insight into our focus institution of the week, the University of Namibia, Neudamm campus, and we also gave you some sites, of course, from the Hage Geingob campus. So, of course, if you would like us to feature your institution next, of course, slide into our DMs. We'll be more than willing to show up and actually find out what your institution has been up to. But that brings us to the end of the Varsity Chat Room for today. Join us again next week on the same page, on the same platforms, and at the same time. Proudly brought to you by MyZone under Namibia Media Holdings. I've been your host, Esther Kamati. Do engage us on our social media platforms. And do not forget, on the 12th of August, that being next week, Wednesday, we have a very, very special event. We're hosting Namibia's first ever virtual career expo. Now, if you would like to engage with us, of course, engage us on all our social media platforms, and don't forget to tune in on the 12th of August to not be left out. We'll be having universities, different institutions, and you can find out more on the actual date. So, of course, until next time, that is it from me. Bye.